Richard Earl Reb Beach Jr., born August 31st, 1963, is an American Demus guitarist and currently a member of the bands Winger and Whitesnake, but you may know him from Alice Cooper, Dokken, or The Mob, Fiona, or Black Swan. The rise of this guitar virtuoso Reb in the mid-80s was nothing short of sensational. Arriving in New York after a couple of semesters at Berklee College of Music in Boston, he swiftly became one of the most sought-after session players in the Big Apple, recording with such top-notch acts as Eric Clapton, Roger Daltrey, Chaka Khan, and Twisted Sister. Beach's talents were too obvious for him to remain a hired hand. Joining with ex-Alice Cooper bassist singer Kip Winger, he formed a full-time band, Winger, in 1986, the hardest-hitting pop metal bands of the late 80s. The group released 2 million-selling albums, Winger in 1988 and In the Heart of the Young in 1990. Beach was voted Best New Talent by Guitar World magazine, and Ibanez Guitars asked him to design a line of guitars. Winger's success was short-lived and the group disbanded after the third album, Pull, failed to reach previous sales in 1993. Beach launched his own band, the Reb Beach Project, and his plans to record a solo album were scrapped, however, after he accepted an invitation to join Alice Cooper's band. Beach remained with Cooper's group for 3 years, leaving to replace George Lynch as lead guitarist and co-writer for headbanging metal group Dokken. With Dokken, he recorded one studio album titled Erase the Slate with the live DVD titled Live from the Sun. He was also involved with Sega as he recorded the soundtrack for the video game Daytona USA 2. Since leaving Dokken, Beach has been a part of several different recording and touring projects. In addition to sporadic touring with Winger, he released a solo effort entitled Masquerade in 2002. Since then, he has been a member of David Coverdale's current incarnation of Whitesnake and has been the longest-serving guitarist member of the band to this day, excluding Coverdale. A supergroup project called The Mob with King X frontman Doug Pinnick and the Night Ranger drummer Kelly Keagy resulted in a self-titled album released in 2005. A reformed Winger released their first studio recording in over a decade in 2006. He replaced Jeff Watson and Night Ranger for a series of dates in Japan and the US, but announced his departure from that band in 2008. He currently splits his time between Winger and Whitesnake, recording Better Days Comin' in 2014 with the former band, and the Purple album with the latter in 2015. He continues to tour with both acts. According to bandmate Kip Winger, Reb is quite adept at coming up with multiple rock riffs at a time, though he's unable to remember them later. Ibanez Guitars produced his signature RBM model, which stands for Reb Beach Model, in the early 1990s. On the 2005 Whitesnake reunion tour, he primarily used custom models by Luthier Sur Guitars.
Hey, this is Reb Beach from Whitesnake and Winger, and we're here today at the Saban Theater in LA, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to do my gear spotlight with Suhr guitars and amps. Hey, let's get to some of my guitars. These are the ones that I bring with me out on the road. Starting with my #1 guitar, which is a Suhr Classic. This is their classic guitar, and obviously it's pretty classic, you know, and it just comes this way. And it really feels like it's been played somehow. I don't know how they do it. But I instantly fell in love with this, and I use this for my heavier songs like Mistreated, you know, the big blues solo. It's got a really gnarly sound, and love this one. Then I got also exact same guitar, but in white and not all beat up. I've got the V70s and the SSV pickup, and they're really hairy and perfect for, you know, Deep Purple kind of music, and you know, that old Ritchie Blackmore Strat tone. All of my guitars have Floyd Roses. All of my guitars have this special radius neck that is super thin and super fast. So there's just enough to grab onto. It's not like it's too small. And you know, these guitars just play like a dream. They really do. This one is, because it's the Purple Tour, it had some purple in it, so I brought it out with me. And it's got a great clean sound. It's got EMGs. So I use this for Is This Love? It's also, it changes colors, which is kind of cool. It's like a really expensive car paint that Suhr put on it for me. And then this one is a modern, very pretty guitar. It's a maple top, very beautiful, lovely guitar. This is a fat sounding guitar. And this is my old standby that everyone knows me for, my Koa Suhr that this is a copy of the first one that I got 30 years ago. And it's got the sound, you know, it's just a solid piece of Koa with Pau Ferro neck, you know, it stays in tune really well. And already you can see how the wood is worn into my fingers from playing it so much, and it just fits my body. You can see my fingers all over the knobs, you know, just dug a groove into the wood. And this is just kind of my sound, is this guitar. Okay, so now we're going to talk about my pedals and kind of my effects and how that whole deal works. And basically, it's just a loop system, so there's a bunch of loops, and I can control which loops are active or not. And all of these effects are in loops. This way, it's cleaner, and the effects that you're not using aren't in line. So anyway, my main pedal is my Sheba drive, my Suhr Sheba drive. We did a Winger record 2 years ago, and we tried every distortion overdrive pedal under the sun, the best ones you can buy, and nothing compared to that. So now that is my main distortion pedal. It's really an overdrive pedal that I can't live without. It doesn't take away from the sound. It sounds, to me, it sounds a lot like another channel in the Suhr head, which has been my head forever. And then I use these other effects. I got a whammy pedal for the ying, 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 ying. I got a flashback echo for any weird noises. Like, I really like weird noises. I got that from Tom Schultz in Boston. And there's, you know, another echo pedal in there. And I got a 320 millisecond delay that runs through the entire show, which Joel Hoekstra tells me I'm crazy to do, but I've been doing it forever, and I just don't like a dry guitar on stage. And that's my effects. I'm going to talk about my amp. I've been using a variation of the same amp for 30 years, and then I got my first custom audio head, I think, when I did Whitesnake 12 years ago. They're the greatest head because they're so versatile. They've got 3 channels, a clean channel, which is very clean and very loud, doesn't get distorted, you can turn it way up. It's got a perfect dirty channel that you can set with the perfect amount of distortion so it's not too hairy for your rhythms. You know, you need the holes in there and the breaths and all that. And then it's got a killer lead channel which has its own volume, so you can turn it up for the solos that you're doing so they pop out in the mix a little bit. On stage you can hear what you're playing. And that lead channel has a ton of hair, you know, as distorted as you want it to be, it's there. Today I got my new Suhr head, which looks really cool to me, and I plugged into it today, and it freaking blew me away. It's awesome. It's got tons of mids. It's got way more mids. It's got more distortion. It almost had more low end, I think. It's just really, really a great head. So I'm just thrilled to have this, and I can't wait to tour with it.